additional time. Literally, we had surpassed the 2 minutes of additional time when Hamrun Sparta scored. There's not really much you can do. I'm sure the whistle will go in a few seconds now.
It's literally the last kick of the game. Pele goes for a Hail Mary shot.
Yeah, and that's it.
That's it. Heartbreaker for Isaac Grima, but as cruel as the game can be, Brancha gets the win. Doesn't manage to lose a lot of points from Christian Spiteri, who will be seeing just after this break.
Stay tuned. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And after the dramatic finish we saw between Hamrun and Balzan, we're heading into a great fixture now between Santa Lucia and Floriana.
It's quite an interesting matchup, but I believe you do have to make some apologies to all the people you've jinxed today.
Yes,
I mean, you're
I'm sorry.
jinxing people left, right, and
I
center.
can't believe it though. Seriously, I have to stop because I did mention that nothing would happen right in the last few minutes of the game, and Brancha just scores there with an incredible goal from Johan Cruyff, and yes, he gets the 3 points on the day. So
So, speaking of 3 points, who do you think will get the 6 points or 3 points, or how do you think the next fixture will go? I believe it will be very entertaining to watch.
no, it will be Chris Meiser against Mizu. We've seen Mizu playing maybe better in the first match and then losing, as happened with Brancha, right? He did play for a 0-0 draw, which was quite impressive, but then lost 4-1. We might see the same or a similar scenario here. I'm not saying Chris Meiser will drop points, because as the way he's playing, it's difficult to bet against this guy. He's playing so well. He's on a 16-match win streak now, which is insane. But of course, Mizu might actually be up for the challenge. We're seeing his qualities. So who knows? Maybe he might get the draw or even beat Chris Meister.
We do love an upset here, so
Yes.
really can't wait to see if Mizu can put a stop to Chris Meister's domination of each and every opponent he's faced, except Turbulence, his very first opponent.
Chris Meister is on today 8 goals to 0 in total, 5-0 and 3-0. It was against Slima Wanderer, so great performance of course from him. I'm actually curious to see the final standings than to see the goal difference that Chris Meister has, because apart from scoring so many goals, he doesn't concede much. His defense is so on point as well.
Exactly. I think that is part of what makes him such a good player, is that when he's not attacking, he's at least retaining possession, and that's what makes it even harder for his opponents to score against him.
And this makes the difference between a good FIFA player and a great FIFA player. Of course, Chris Meister would fall in the latter function, you could say, feature, because he is definitely up on top there. He's currently, I think, the best player in Malta, at least when you look at the results he's achieved abroad. No real other Maltese player has managed to reach that level yet. We might see upsets though this league or this tournament. We have the knockout stage, so you might see Chris Meister going home first round. You never know, or second round. But well, as it stands currently, it's tough to beat this guy.
Yes, it's a task for anyone, and I believe that every player who will face Chris Meister will maybe have that extra bit of incentive to to topple the giant.
Yes.
Maybe, like, how do you call it? That extra bit of momentum which you need to win against someone of that level.
And it could help. For instance, we saw how Klauka got so close, right, and beating him. It actually propelled him to do so much better in the other matches. So knowing that he could actually get so close into toppling this giant, as you said, could actually make you perform much, much better. And it did happen even with Senglia, for instance. Ryan was so close at getting the draw and winning against Chris, but and that's why he played so well then.
Exactly. Even the likes of Laufu have performed
Yes,
amazingly against Santa Lucia. Unfortunately, the games against Chris Meister did give a stop to the momentum that Laufu was carrying into that match day. But I believe that it's quite a great incentive to be playing
Yes.
Chris Meister and have a chance have a chance for yourself to beat Chris. I mean, best of luck to you.
Yeah. So just a small update with what's going on offline. We have the second match between Birkirkara and Slema. This time Slema though are doing so well. It is 3 goals to 0 for Alessio, who's representing Slema here. So trying to change a bit the tide of what happened before with 3-2 going to Laufu's side. Now it looks like Alessio will be winning.
Santa Lucia immediately on the attack. Great tackle from Virgil van Dijk, stopping the chance for Santa Lucia, and a good through ball. Mbappe is onside. He's onside, and the finish to the right of Alisson. Immediately starting off with a bang, Mizo in the lead. The first goal Chris Meiser has conceded today, and immediately with a very quick breakthrough.
Incredible. I mean, first shot, first few minutes, first few in-game minutes of the game, and incredible. What a way to start against a player like Chris Meister. That's sort of, you will put him a bit in his place here. He's saying, look, I can beat you. You have to be careful.
And now it's all on the pressure, arguably, is on Mizu now, because we have to see if he can actually maintain a lead against Chris. Immediately, Chris on the attack. Pele on the outside of the box. Ball to R9 Ronaldo. Just like that. It's 1-1. It's
after 2 minutes, he scored on the opposite end, and R9 crawling there after scoring a magnificent goal for Santa Lucia Football Club. It is 1 apiece, and now the pressure is back on Mizu. After 11 minutes, we already have 2 goals.
It's almost laughable how good this guy is. I mean, he's one goal behind, no problem.
No problem.
2 in-game minutes, and I'm even. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it is full time between Birkirkara and Slema. It is 3-0 to Slema, so well done to Alessio there. And of course, Laufu did play magnificently today, we must say that. Great entertaining fellow as well. So it will be really interesting to see the scoreboard, the standings at the end of this match there, actually.
No real urgency here from Chris Meister, preserving possession in the middle of the park. Good run from R9, not served by Pele, who maybe will prefer a safer option, as unfortunately the pass is cut out. And immediately Mizo on the counter attack. Oh, good tackle from Delict.
It'll be interesting to see if Mizu can respond positively to this goal, because of course he must have had such a great moment that he's up 1-0 against the top performer of this Premier League, but then just conceding so quickly. And now it's Santa Lucia on the attack, so it is a mental game as well, this FIFA. And Santa Lucia with the ball here with the offensive, trying to find some space with R9 and Cruyff, but look at once again, oh no, he managed it with the rebound, somehow CR7 finds the goal, but he did so well there, Mizu, with the defense, but he just gave the ball back again, and CR7 finds the net for a 2-1.
So unfortunate to give away position like that for Mizu. I mean, you give the ball back to CR7 in your own box. It's like suicide there.
Yes, and Alisson did well to save the first attempt, but the second shot on target then found the net.
And nothing Mizu could do there. It's 2-1 already for Chris Meister. Can Mizu try to make a comeback for himself now, after being in the lead for a very short time?
I shouldn't say anything because I end up jinxing it, but I'll be saying it anyway. But we see it very often with, wait a second here, Mizu with the ball. Ooh, good defending there. But we see it often with Santa Lucia. Once they score, they keep on scoring. So let's see if Mizu will stop the goal bonanza that I'm sure Chris Meister is actually planning for. So look at this.
CR7 entering the box, but Robertson steals possession. So risky for Alisson, but manages to clear the ball without getting a heart attack in the process. Neymar, unfortunately, running the ball out of the touchline's bounds.
Already 36 minutes have gone by. Chris Meister with the ball here, another opportunity to present himself. Back to Hullet, the Dutch powerhouse there. What will he do with Kante? Will he open with the flank? No, he goes with R9 in the middle. He's being closed down a bit by Mizu's defense, but still retains possession. CR7 with the ball here. Back to Hullet.
Hullet against Hullet. Floriana's Hullet wins the ball back.
It's always interesting to see the same player fighting against each other.
Beautiful bar through. Neymar now almost clean through. Fake shot. Ball roll. Oh my God. Alisson still saves it. Kante wins the ball back for Santa Lucia, but brilliant chance for Mizu. Unfortunately, couldn't really make it happen with Neymar there.
Yeah, I feel that he closed himself a bit too much there with that ball roll. He took the ball away, giving him less of an angle to find the net, sort of less space there, and that is why, of course, the goalkeeper was managed to get the ball, a touch on the ball.
As Mizu looks to be slowly on the increase in his propensity to attack. Maybe leaving him more exposed for Chris Meister's counters though.
This could be the last attack though of this first half. Chris Meister with the offensive. Is this offside? No, it's not.
Yes, it was.
It was, yes. So,
however, a brilliant take from Alisson, who unfortunately gives away possession very cheaply.
yeah.
If this turns out to be a goal, I mean, I'm sure Mizu will definitely be so angry with himself.
It could easily be a goal. The 2 minutes are gone.
This ball with R9. Neymar, unfortunately for Mizu, takes the ball away and prevents a very, very angry Mizu at the end of the first half. However, though, he will still be angry with himself for giving away possession for that second goal from Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, it was a pity. I mean, he was in the lead 1-0 up, and maybe everyone watching from home, including Branch, I'm sure, would say, oh yes, maybe he will lose his first match here, Chris Meister. He is beatable, this guy. But just like that, 2 goals he scored, and it's 2-1 in the lead. And now it's Floriana FC that's chasing. So, yeah.
It's all on Mizu now.
Yeah.
Mizu has definitely the potential to bring the game to Chris Meister, but we'll have to wait and see if he will live up to the expectation here. Lazy pass there from Hullet, gives away possession very cheaply, and Chris Meister can now take the opportunity to do something with the ball.
Meanwhile, we have a score line at halftime. Gzir and Mosta are 0-0. So there is Brandon being playing against Luke there, and it is goalless. Ooh, good play from Mizu here, but again the defense of Chris Meister. 2 on point here in the back. And that's why he doesn't concede many goals. His defending is really strong as well, as much as his attack. See, Chris Meister is very patient with the ball as well, circulating the ball, trying to find that space, which he will find with the flanks here, with Pelé now on the left flank. Back to Robertson. Look at how far up Robertson is.
Mizu spamming that offside trap in hopes of catching the passes from Chris Meister offside, and even getting the defense up forward and increasing the pressure on Santolucia as he manages to lose possession. But just like that, Chris Meister manages to win back the ball. CR7 now running on this right hand side, playing it to R9, who's chased by Virgil van Dijk, plays it back to CR7. His back is towards the goal. He has to find someone free there.
Yeah, he's been closed off quite well with by the Floriana defense.
Brilliant use of the jockey dribbling there. Unfortunately, Cruyff is caught in an offside position.
That's where the offside trap works really well. In fact, Floriana is using it quite well, trying to catch them offside, and it did come up. But now the issue is, what will Mizu do to get this perhaps equalizer, because he's still behind, of course, and it doesn't seem like Chris Meister will be leaving space at the back for Mizu to score. Might actually find we might have a change in not sure if a substitute will be coming in for Floriana, or maybe just switching sides.
I believe Mizu is bringing on Pele for Neymar, so it's
Yes.
the opposite of what we're used to seeing from the Floriana man. Let's see if he can manage to do something other than being on the losing side here.
He needed to do some changes, of course, and look at this, using the right flank. CR7 found the space. Will he get it through? Pele! Oh my God, Alisson just gets the fingertips to it. But wow, immediately Pele's first touch, almost finding the net.
We'll go for a direct corner. Very unfortunately, the ball marker on the pitch will give away the position of where Mizu will try to play it, as he wins back position once again. Maybe getting into the box. Kante comes in between Pele and the ball and gets away position. And Santolucia once again are not in the risk of being pegged back. The defensive line from Floriana, though, is so high up due to that constant spamming of the offside trap from Mizu. Unfortunately for him, Santolucia are still in possession.
We have an update actually of scores. We have Gzira at the 50th minute scored against Mosta, so it was 1-0, but 65th minute Mosta found the draw, so it's one apiece.
Good ball through for R9 and the beautiful finish. A bit of goalkeeper positioning from Mizu, unfortunately, sends him the wrong way, and it's an easy finish for R9.
Oh, so much space there, and there it is, 3-1, and now it's an uphill battle for Mizu. I don't know what he can do. He can't find a way through the defense, and now he has to score 2 to just draw. So, very, very tough ask.
As we are in the 75th minute, so even less time for Mizu to get a goal, to get 2 goals. So it's a very difficult task, this one, for Mizu.
Yeah, and he did start really well, Chris Meister, and heading into the second match, if he manages to maintain this lead or even score more goals, I mean, this would be great for him to end the match day with such a great performance. He's working on a player of the week again.
Would be the very first player to make it twice for the MVP, as I believe no other player has won their 4 games.
Yes, today no. And look at that, Chris Meister working so hard there to find a 4th goal. We did mention earlier on that he loves to score, this guy, so expect another dangerous attack here. Even though he has the lead, he still tries to find the goal. He doesn't just play possession-wise.
Unfortunately, I believe R9 is in an offside position. He is, and the linesman will no doubt get his leg up. Possession is once again given to Santolucia. Let's see if he can make something happen. Let's see if he can get a 4th.
Working towards that 4th goal here with Lionel Messi. The defense of Floriana, too much for him.
Good through ball there for R9. Pele releasing Johan Cruyff, but CR7 backtracking. Very good sacrifice from CR7 to make sure that Mizu doesn't get a second one for the day.
Try to get for that through ball there, not enough. Just last 2 minutes additional time actually here for this match, so there's nothing much, of course, Floriana FC can do except perhaps not concede another goal. They have to be very careful not to go 4-1 down here. Look at that back heel, but would have been so entertaining to watch there. But there it is, 3-1 to Santa Lucia. So well done to Chris Meister there. He's currently sitting on 11 goals.
Klopp hugging himself.
Yes, Klopp, exactly. It was fun to watch, but yeah, it's 11 goals he scored, just 1 conceded, Chris Meister today. So incredible performance from this guy.
Yeah, he's definitely the man to beat in the whole of the league. We've seen 67% possession throughout the whole of the game. I mean, definitely beating Isaac Carl Grima's possession of 68 in the first half. Arguably, that was just for the first half. But Chris Meister against Mizu has retained 2/3 of the whole possession of the game, which is incredible, impressive.
Right? Meanwhile, we had an 81st minute penalty between Gżira and Mosta. Gżira extend the lead to 2-1. So Brandon today is actually playing so well. I'm actually curious to see whether Brandon did manage to win all his matches today.
I believe so, because
Brandon won against Senglia twice.
Exactly. And he's beating Mosta now.
Mosta. So Brandon is working towards that MVP as well if he keeps this up. So well done to him. And of course, both the Gallia brothers, both Brancha and Brandon, of course, did very well today. Brancha just at the end managed to fight the goal. But look at that, the standings.
The updated leaderboard, as Santa Lucia have a 5-point advantage with a game in hand, which will be played now. So if he wins, he'll take that to 8 points advantage.
Yes.
And if you can see, though, however, there's a 15-point gap now between Hamrun and Tarshian. Very unfortunate for the third place now, as the third place group is composed of Tarshian and Balsan, who have had a great couple of match days recently. Hibernians are following in 5th place with 32 points, although they do have 2 games in hand, which will be played just after this game. Valletta also are with 2 games to play, and they will be against Hibernians, and we will see them on stream now. As the rest of the table, up until the 12th place, it's quite congested there with...
Agreed. Gżira, however, with a win now over Mosta, they went 2-1, will actually beat Floriana for 7th place if Floriana were to lose again now, and perhaps Gżira were to win. So, I mean, the middle part of the table is so interesting. And Hibernians, if Dunstan does well against Turbulence, he will also get the back to the 3rd position of this table. So it's so interesting. Football is so lovely when you see like the round robins and all these points going on. But look at that through ball from Floriana. 3rd minute in, already working on a first goal here. Will be enough to beat the defense of Santa Lucia. It will not.
Good use there of the offside trap from Mizu, catching R9 and re-establishing position for the Floriana men. It was approximately at this instant that he got the lead in the previous fixture. Oh, CR7 not offside there with a lot of space, going for the through ball for R9. Unfortunately for him, the ball does not reach its intended target. Santa Lucia once again in possession. Brilliant ball down the line. The offside trap does not work. Ball to Cruyff. Cruyff with the chance and an easy finish. 1-0 for Chris Meister.
So much space there from the flank down to Cruyff. It would have been have been harder to miss, I think. Because look at the space and Cruyff. Wow, well done from Chris Meister. Then just 11th minute already scored. This is incredible, huh?
And that's the danger of relying too much on the offside trap. I mean, everyone moved upfield and loads of green space for Chris Meister to attack, finding Cruyff alone at the edge of the box. Brilliant finish at the near post, and it's 1-0. And it's already an uphill climb for Mizu.
This is exactly what Chris Meister wants, to go into match day 6 with 18 straight wins. Incredible, this guy.
8 points ahead of second place.
Yes, exactly. And I mean, of course, there's still a lot to play for in this match alone, but what a way to start against Mizu. And we saw Mizu, how difficult it was for him to find space, as we saw here again, trying to find space in the middle. It's not working for him. What can he do? This Chris with the ball. Somehow he manages to retain possession now. Pele back to R9. Oh, he gets closed off though by the defense of Floriana. Perhaps a counter attack now.
Trying to maybe make his move faster, ends up in giving away possession. Robertson and Pele down this left-hand side. De Ligt is too fast for Floriana, gets the ball back, and now R9 dueling against Virgil van Dijk. But the team of the year defender will get his way and get back possession. Mizu still relying on the offside trap in the meantime.
Very risky, but it did work before. Even though he was unfortunate in the last goal, he conceded it because of that.
Ball with Cruyff at the edge of the box, trying to find R9. De Ligt gets the ball back, however. But Robertson for Chris Meister gets the ball to R9. Almost into the penalty area. Brilliant attempt for a through ball, but red from Floriana. And Mizu can now maybe start a move of his own. Look at the pressure though from Chris Meister, closing each and every space very nicely. There's almost no room for him to attack. Although this long ball over the top finds Mbappe, but Zambrotta recovers expertly there.
It does seem like Mizu is trying to go for these long balls, good curved through balls. I mean, because that's how he tries to open up the defense of Chris, because otherwise nothing is really happening. Nothing is really working for him.
You really have to be patient when you're playing Chris Meister, and you can't really rely on those instincts and impulses which make you do maybe things which you shouldn't do. You should be really careful with every pass and move which you make. Even the runs of defenders and attackers, you have to really be cautious, especially when you're playing a player as expert as Chris Meister. In the meantime, Gullit sleeps awake, gives possession away, but manages to win it back. Cruyff at the edge of the penalty area could make it too. Pele, good drag back ball to Conte. Didn't manage to find the man to get a shot away though, and Floriana once again in possession. R9 alone gets taken down by
dangerous.
Gullit.
I think we should see a card here, right? It is a yellow card to Gullit. That was quite an aggressive tackle, a naughty tackle from the Flying Dutchman there, but still, of course, a lot to... I mean, Florian FC need to do something here. They have barely managed to mount a good attack, even though, look at this, with R9. Oh, he goes for the shot.
Oh my god, the volley from Neymar, almost ending up in the top bins of the net. So unfortunate for Mizu that it didn't end up in goal.
Yeah, but the first attempt from R9, it could have been much, much better. The closest chance he got to getting a goal here, Mizu, but it didn't work out.
Shows the composure also from Chris Meister to not go into a challenge with the opposing defender, but stand his ground, force a shot from the opponent as Mizo has done, and it's brilliant defensive play from Chris Meister. It shows how strong this guy is. He's strong offensively, he's strong defensively, and he's good at keeping possession. So beating him is it's quite an incredible feat now. Ball with Kante tries to set up R9, but unfortunately the pass is captured from the defense of Floriana as the first half finishes here. 1-0 for Chris Meister.
It was, I mean, Santa Lucia still look like the dominant team here. Floriana didn't really manage to find enough opportunities to get the ball up. He did in the end here, he almost scored, of course, but it was maybe more of a fluke, to be honest, rather than. I mean, it's not really the norm of the game right now because Chris Meister has maintained most possession, got most attacks on, and don't be surprised if he actually manages to score again.
Second half underway. 1-0 for Santa Lucia against Floriana. This penultimate fixture for today.
We have just received word that halftime between Gzira and Mosta, it is 1-0 to Gzira United. So Brandon Galia there maintaining the lead up until halftime against Mosta. That's actually very impressive for Gzira because if he continues like this, he would have won 4. But
brilliant ball to Johan Cruyff.
Incredible.
Oh my god, what a through ball from Chris Meister. Creating the space out of nowhere. And just like that, it's 2-0 for Santa Lucia, hitting so early in the beginning of this second half. But what a through ball from Chris.
Incredible here. It's reflecting the incredible performance that Chris Meister is having all league round. I mean, from the third match onwards, he hasn't stopped winning, this guy. And he's extending the lead. If, as things stand, he's 8 points above Brancha now, which is incredible. From 4 points, he was 4 points at the beginning of match day. And now it's 8 points. How can you reach that? 8 points is almost 3 wins now. So very, very difficult.
And other than the 3 wins for Branch, it's 3 losses for Chris Meister, which we haven't even seen 1 loss for him, let alone 3. So
exactly.
So it's almost like you can't do anything about it, to be honest. As Mizo can do nothing about this possession from Chris Meister here.
And it's always Santa Lucia on the attack here. He's actually not tired of trying to score. In fact, he is working on finding a third goal here, Chris, because he wants to extend the lead as much as possible. A change from Floriana here. I think Mbappe will be making way for Zidane. So it is Florian FC to bring on Zidane instead of Mbappe. I don't know if this would work out. I mean, he has to score 2 goals, which is a tough ask.
Maybe trying to slot in Zidane as the creator, trying to find as many space as possible to let in the forwards run. I mean, he does have the attacking options with Neymar and the 2 Ronaldos up front, so it's definitely quite a good attack from Mizo. Unfortunately for him, though, he's facing Chris Meister.
And once again, speak of Chris Meister, he has the ball at the offensive, but good defending there with Virgil van Dijk. Floriana perhaps mounting a counter-attack here. Look at this, Zizou's first touch. What will R9 do? Oh, he goes for the lob there for the chip for Neymar Jr. Oh, De Ligt though. Great defending from Chris Meister once again. By the way, Xira has just extended the lead 2-0 against Mosta, so Brandon really on fire today. Very, very well done to him. Oh, look at this through ball though, with Mbappe here for Santa Lucia. Oh, what will he do? Good pass to Lionel Messi. Messi goes for the shot, just over bar. And wow, well done though.
Oh, it was
a corner
deflected.
actually. Yes, it was deflected. Well done though. The pressure that Chris is still putting, even though he has 2 goals ahead. He's 2 goals ahead. Still working hard to find another goal.
Messi trying the through ball, maybe playing CR7, but unfortunately it was cut off. CR7 trying to get past Zambrotta, but there's no beating the Italian fullback. Back in his prime when Italy won the World Cup.
What a great year that was. And now Mbappe trying for the through ball. They're quite short though. Not enough to beat the Floriana defense. 20 minutes left on the clock. Mizu's time is running out. I don't know what he can do. And it's always Santa Lucia on the offensive here. So, I mean, this is so difficult. If Mizu can't do anything, what can be done to stop Chris?
It's like trying to push a wall. It's unbelievable how Chris manages to craft goals out of anything.
Oh, you see, he's going for the long balls, but they're not really working out. He's desperate for something, Mizu. He can't figure out what to do against Chris. It was the case in the first match, and it's the case in this one as well.
Good spell of possession, almost into the box, and now he goes into the box. Good cross from Messi, almost finding R9, but the ball is intercepted from Mizu's defense. But just like that, the attack from Floriana gets overcrowded by the defense. So many men backwards there for Santa Lucia. Messi once again gets possession. R9 just misses out on the ball as the ball ends up in Mizu's possession. But once again, he ends up giving it away.
By the way, if Floriana were to lose this one, it would mean Mizu would only have gained 1 point out of a possible 12 today. So
He did have a couple of great opponents to face.
Yes, it's very true, very true. Brancha and Chris Meister, so the top two, you could say. So, oh, look at that through ball! Oh, what a good effort that was, but it's an offside.
Oh, small counter couldn't
sorry.
even get a chance to get a shot away.
By the way, we have another goal from Xira and Mostat's 3-0 to Xira now. Brandon, well done to you, man.
And this is the first or second fixture?
This is the second, I believe, or first. Not sure, actually, now.
In the meantime, Mbappe into the box, almost playing it through.
Second fixture.
It's the second fixture, and he
Yes.
has already beaten him the first time.
Exactly.
So it's 4 wins out of 4 here for Brendan and Xira.
Because it was 2-1 the first fixture for Xira, and now it is 3-0. So Brandon would have won 4 matches.
So he's
I
definitely
believe,
in contention for Player of the Week. Good ball for R9 onside.
Oh.
Virgil van Dijk with a rash challenge.
That could be, is it a sending off here? No, not enough to be sent off. But he was like a last man there. That was so dangerous. I mean, but still not enough time. It will be 2-0. Yes, it will be Santa Lucia.